Alright, today I'm going to show you how I format my comics for YouTube so they have more of a professional, complete look. I'm going to use GIMP. So here I have my comic panel scanned onto my computer. I hand drew these, so I just scanned them all and then cropped them out individually. I'm going to open up GIMP and I'll show you what I've done. So just go to File, New, and I have this on the width 1920 and the height 1080. So it's a nice video format. Over here I have a black background and I have my logo. Then I have my text. And then I have this frame and I have all these on separate layers. I'm just going to crop this frame out real quick so I can rescale it. I'm just going to rescale this to whatever comic panel that I have for my intro. That way this project is a template. I'll show you how I make this. I just add a new layer and I have this purple color. I'm going to open as layers. I'm going to find my comic panel intro. I'm just going to move this, press M, and then just drag and drop. I'm going to go to that new layer I just created. I'm going to choose this smoke brush. I'm going to go to the airbrush and press A, or you can just click on it. I'm going to resize this and just paint underneath this and make sure that layer is beneath. I'm just going to go to the eraser tool and then just erase some of this so it has more of a faded out look. I'm just going to stylize this however you want. This is just what I chose. And I want to have a border around this, separating the purple from the comic panel. I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to make sure this layer is above my comic panel. I'm going to go to the single pixel brush and adjust that to the size where it's just about the same size as my comic panel. I'm just going to choose black as the color. And make sure you have the right layer selected and paint right over that so that way it blocks out the panel. And then we're going to resize that panel, make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to select the panel, come up here to layer, stack, and then raise layer so it's on the top, or you can just drag it up over in the layers. Shift S and scale it. I'm going to scale it down a little bit just so we can see that black border. There we go. I'm just going to delete that extra frame layer I made. And I just merged that black layer down onto the purple one. So that way they're a separate layer from the other ones, but they're together. So that way I can scale them. Let's go to File and Save As. I'm just going to name this something appropriate. This is going to be my template. I'm going to use this for various comic series. So that way I can just have a pre-formatted intro panel. I can just put whatever comic I want as the intro and just rescale that frame to match it. And when you export this, you want to make sure you do export as with whatever comic panel you have and not save as. So now we have the intro panel. Now I need a template for my other panel, so I just kept the same project open and just saved it as a different file name. Resized my logo and deleted the intro text. But I kept the frame and centered it up, scaled it up. And then you can see it's one layer. And then these other layers, I just have my text logo at the bottom. I'm going to Control Alt O, or you can just go to File, Open as Layers, and just select the panels and just place those over that frame. And just Shift S and scale them however you want, just so they're within that border. I'm going to select the frame and Shift S. We can scale that. Click this little chain up here to scale it non-proportionately if you need to. Just adjust this however you want, however you need for your comic panel. And just press Enter, or you can hit Scale. And I'm just going to go to File, Export As, and save this. I'm just going to save these in order using numbers, so that way I can add them to my project easy later, because they'll all be in number order. And once again, just go to Export As and not Save As, because it'll save over your template. I'm just going to delete this comic panel, and then for the next I'm just going to open as layers and just add the next one and just continue doing that until I have all the comic panels done. And if you're having this problem right here where you're not seeing the panel, you can just go over here to the left and do composite preview, so that way you can see how big you need to scale this layer. Alright, so now I have all these panels done in my intro panel. So I need an outro. I'm just going to open up the original project, the one from my intro card. And I'm going to need different text for my outro. So since I've edited this text using the cage transform, I'm just going to have to delete that because we won't be able to edit the text. So I'm just going to delete it and just retype my outro text. I'm just going to go ahead and save this, save as, and then rename this as a separate one. I'm just going to do outro card because this is the outro. Don't save it over your intro. I'm just going to select this purple color, just add this text, and then just adjust it however I need to. Then I'll show you how to use the cage transform. I'm just going to take this tool and click wherever I want my deform points to be and just draw this box around this. I have these in the center so I can just make this arch. So that way it kind of wraps around this logo in the center and gives it more of a stylized look. I think it looks a little bit better than just plain straight text. I'm just going to erase this little extra text that it left over. Alright, so for this bottom one, I accidentally didn't put a point in the center on the top, so it actually turned out to be a little bit better when I was deforming this. So I went ahead and did that to the top text as well. I just redid the whole top text. You can see that here. Shift S and scale it. Open as layers my end panel card. I usually draw one of these for the end, so the comic doesn't just end abruptly. Just gonna scale that. I'm gonna move these elements around a little bit and add some text. And I wanted to add my channel name, but instead of typing it out, I opened one of the previous comic panels because I have flipped the R and the E for a more stylized look. So I'm just gonna go up here and hit the crop tool, or you can shift C. I'm just gonna drag the box around that to crop it out and just bring it up here. Now it has this box over it where we cropped it, so you can either drag that underneath the frame layer, or I can show you what else you can do. You can go up to colors, and then you can go down to colored alpha, and for the color, instead of white, I'm going to color pick. I'm going to pick the black color, and then press OK, and then press OK again. And then when we move this, press M to move, and then we can just drag this, and you can see it took all the black away. So now we just have our text. I'm going to go export as, and then just save this as whatever comic panel number this would be. And for this, I'm just going to go over here and delete this comic panel, and then delete the text for the name of the comic itself. And then I'm going to save this project as whatever name I want to give it. And this will be the template for my outro. I'm going to go in Blender and go to the video editing. And for this, I'm just going to Shift A and add image sequence. I'm just going to select the intro panel. And for this, you can either do the whole sequence and then just set how many frames you want each picture to be, or you can individually adjust them based on how long it takes for your audience to read the text. I'm just going to drag this layer up and add a color underneath it. That way if I do fade out, it'll be black underneath. I'm going to add my audio as well. So this is the intro part of the audio. I'm going to turn the snapping on and drag this to an appropriate length. I want to get rid of this intro silence, so I'm just going to select this, press K while the layer is selected, and separate that, drag it, and just make everything match up. I'm just going to add each of my comic panels. And what I like to do is kind of watch this as I go, just to make sure the audience has enough time to read and absorb each of the panels. Once I get done, I'm just going to go up here and render animation. And then there you go, you got your comic. If you want to check out the comic, I have the channel up here. And thanks for watching.